Oh, så ska vi på lead. All right, there we go. Welcome everybody to the Witcher Fancast with the CosCast.
Ooh.
Woo! You sound so excited. It's like, oh god, are we doing this? Do I have to? That's what it sounds
I'm just trying to do that Geralt-esque,
right, yeah.
broodiness. I don't know what's it called.
You have to go like or fuck. That's basically what he
Ugh.
says.
I can't go that low. I'm sorry.
Well, Ryura is in the chat as always. Hi, welcome. Before we started this episode, we asked you guys on Instagram if you were interested in this because we had been thinking about it and you guys were overwhelmingly positive, so we had to do it. And then we asked people to please send in questions if they had any or any points of discussion that they would like us to talk about, and you guys have. So we got in one question from Vixie Dust and one question from Superhero Girl Creations, and we're going to talk about those as the show rolls on. So that's going to be cool.
Yes.
And Scritch is now following. That's about fucking time. That's my husband, to those of you who don't know. Thank you.
Can you please tell everyone what you and your husband have been doing this Christmas?
Well, we've been binging The Witcher on Netflix several times. He has now seen the entire series 5 times. I have seen it 1.5. And when we haven't been watching The Witcher, we have been playing The Witcher 3 nonstop all through Christmas.
On separate computers in the same room.
In the same room. He's like a meter away from me, literally, as we speak, playing The Witcher 3 on his computer and watching us talk about The Witcher. So he's getting me double up.
Yeah.
It's pretty magical.
I thought it was pretty magical when you told me on Christmas Eve, Anita and her husband, they had Christmas dinner early and they opened their presents early so they can spend the entire evening on Christmas Eve playing The Witcher.
Yes. All truth, no lies.
I mean, it's great. I love it. It's awesome.
I mean, we're just very excited about it. We really enjoyed the show. Well, I mean, that's not a spoiler. We're doing a fan cast, so I mean, it kind of goes without saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, so we have a bit of a script that we're going to go through today. It's not just going to be us, like, rambling on forever and ever without any purpose. We'll see. Also, if you guys are interested in looking at the resources that I've been checking into before we did this fancast, I have put up some of the links to the articles and reviews and wikis and things that I've been looking at on Facebook, so you can find them in the comment section under our most recent post about this stream. It's the top post on our Facebook page at the CosCast, so you'll find it there. I cannot be bothered to post each individual link in the chat here on Twitch. Just follow us on Facebook if you want that, okay? Mm-hmm. Liana, thank you for liking the stream. That's so nice of you. And welcome to Novatix and Rick Makes Stuff. Novatix says, that's proper nerd life right there. Yes, it is.
It's the truth.
Proper nerd life, because what is life without nerdiness? I don't even know anymore. I just don't. Okay, so, first of all, let's just give a very short, overview of what we thought of the show before we go into details and characters and plots and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to start?
No, can you start? You've seen it 1.5 times.
Okay. No. I really enjoyed the show. Like, overall, I love Henry Cavill as Geralt. I didn't think I was going to, but I really did. And I also really love the casting for Jennifer and the whole vibe of the show. It's something that it doesn't take itself too seriously, but serious enough that it's not super cheesy. Mm-hmm. Which I really appreciate. Yeah. And I like that there's a lot of diversity in the casts. And yeah, mean, I think it's well written. I think it's well produced. It's good. I like it in general.
I agree. I went into, like, I haven't seen any spoilers. I had to wait because I was up north visiting my grandma and she doesn't have Wi-Fi, and I don't download things on my phone. I don't want to watch stuff on my phone anyway. I would rather see it at home in a perfect environment with the, it's just I just want the moment to be right because I know that I was going to like it, hopefully. So I didn't see it until like a week after release, but then I watched it in like 2.5 days, and it was awesome. I loved it. And I, amazingly enough, have been keeping myself away from spoilers. I'm pretty good at that, actually.
Yeah, I'm god level at no spoilers. I have no idea what happens in Frozen 2 yet. I haven't seen it, and I haven't been spoiled.
Me neither.
I'm completely clueless. I know they travel somewhere, and there's an underwater seahorse and something about powers. That's it.
I know nothing about that either. Like, even I haven't seen the new Star Wars movie either, and I haven't been spoiled anything. Only Baby Yoda, but I don't care about that.
That's the Mandalorian. That's the TV show, so that's not even in the movie. So
I know that's the only thing I've seen.
Yeah. So regarding,
yeah.
Right. So we both enjoyed it. And Liana says, or Ryurai Art says, watching The Witcher on Netflix was actually my introduction to the whole thing, besides seeing people cosplay from it, and I really liked it. Finished watching it yesterday. And she also says about the non-spoilery stuff, that's incredible. Yeah, no, I know. I'm really good at not being spoiled.
Yeah, I'm good at avoiding it, but it's very easy to spoil things for me. Like, you can just say, I like this part of the thing, and I will be like, oh, then I will be super focused on that thing, and I will not like it just because someone has said that they liked it, and I will kind of overthink it, and then it becomes blah.
Yeah.
So it's like I have to stay away from spoilers. But yeah,
I'm not easily spoiled. Like, people can tell me something big that happens in a movie, and I'll be like, Careface, I don't know what the events is leading up to that thing. I don't know how the characters are reacting or what they're talking about or what happened for the big spoilery moment. It's the build up, you know. So it's really hard to really spoil something for me, luckily. All right, so, but not enough about Star Wars and Frozen and Baby Yoda and all of that stuff. Let's go into, first of all, what the hell is a Witcher? Because a lot of people want to know, and I will have to say, it is not explained in the show. Like, there is no text in the beginning describing what a Witcher is or introducing the world, and you're not really like eased into things. You are just thrown right into the universe and like, yeah, I'm a Witcher and people don't like me and I kill monsters. But
it's also with the Witcher powers is that if you haven't played the games or read the books, it's really hard to actually know what the different things are. And that is also one of the things that I thought while watching it, was that it was almost like a video game. It could be a quest or a scene or something from the video game. Even though they say that it's more like from the books rather than the games, but it's like it kind of mixes in between each other.
Yeah, I mean, it's very much a mix of the two in my experience as well.
Yeah.
But basically, I mean, a long story short is that a Witcher is basically a freelance monster killer. And they are humans. They start out as humans, but they are mutated because of certain potions and mutagens and rituals they have to go through during their training, which also make them sterile and give them those cat eyes or other traits. And they can drink potions to become stronger or faster or see in the dark or breathe longer underwater, stuff like that.
Yeah. Also, it might be that we get this information later in the series, but come on, the next season isn't coming until like next year, so
yeah, it's gonna be a long wait, people.
Yeah,
long wait. So yeah, that's basically what a Witcher is. And the magic powers that a Witcher has is called signs. And it's not strong magic, it's just small, simple, like, trick of the trade kind of things, like a cantrip almost. So the one he uses in the first episode in The Butcher of Blaviken is he uses a sign called Ard, which is basically like an air sign that gives a pushback effect. So it's kind of like crowd control. It blows people away, so you have time to like, get your shit together and counterattack.
Mm-hmm.
And there are also other kinds of signs. Like if you've played the game, you're familiar. Igni is a fire thing, so you can shoot fire from your hand, and Quen is like a shield basically that keeps you from taking damage. And you have Irden, which is like a ring that immobilizes enemies and makes ghosts tangible, so you can actually attack them. And Axi, which is sort of like a mind control sign that makes it easy to tell people what to do. It's kind of like using the Force, like these are not the droids you're looking for, that kind of thing. That's what one of those signs does. So, yeah. Now you know.
You could also play the game to learn all of these things, because they explain it there.
Yes, they do. And I mean, I've played the first game almost to completion, but then it glitched and bugged on me, and I couldn't continue, and I didn't have a good save. So, But I've also played the second one a little bit, and I finished the third game a couple of years ago. And it's really good games. I can recommend warmly. Yes.
Yeah, and you don't have to play the first or the second game before you play the third one. Everything is actually quite good explained, nicely explained.
I mean, you get a tutorial basically into things when you start the game, so it's not like you have to start from scratch. Start from the third game. It is arguably the best game in the series anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Play The Witcher 3. It's really, really good.
It is.
Rick also says that I think season 2 will explain more. Yeah.
Crossing fingers.
Crossing fingers. And Ryurai says that they kind of tell it slowly over time, but not that detailed, so it was possible to understand some of it over time. Yes, that's too.
Good.
But that's one of the things that make it hard for people who don't know the franchise to begin with, to actually get into it and know what's going on. But me personally, I appreciate that kind of storytelling because it's showing and not telling, if you know what I mean. Like, you have to pay attention, you have to watch the show, you have to become invested in it in order to get everything and to understand and to catch up on little things that are going to matter later on.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it depends where you're coming from, but yeah, I mean, the show isn't very like user friendly if you don't know the franchise to begin with.
Well, I think it might be user friendly if you're just good at like watching the series when you actually watch it.
True.
True. I usually do like 100 different things while watching series. Not with this one because I was invested in it, but usually when I put on something new that I don't know, I just like have it in the background while playing Tetris or something at the same time.
Yeah.
And if I do that while watching The Witcher, then I wouldn't get or catch up on things that's important because like it's like they've every little thing is important to catch up on everything that's going on.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what a Witcher is, and one of the potential critiques one could give to The Witcher is that it's kind of hard to get into for people who don't know the world or what a Witcher is.
Well, like when my boyfriend was actually considering watching The Witcher with me. I didn't know because he doesn't usually like fantasy and stuff. If it's too much magical things, then he's like, no. But he actually wanted to watch it because he had heard from people who don't usually like fantasy series like Game of Thrones or Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings that there's a lot of people who usually don't like fantasy who actually liked The Witcher, which I kind of find a little bit weird because to me there's so much magical stuff going on in The Witcher.
It really is. Also, thank you to Hatim for liking the stream.
Yay.
That was what that little ding was. Just so we appreciate it. Thank you very much. Let's see. Yeah. I think it's weird that people who don't usually like fantasy like this one, and I think that's one of the reasons why it's being compared to Game of Thrones a lot. It's because that's also a show that people who don't really like fantasy like.
Yeah.
It's weird. But I read an article, like a review of The Witcher online today, and it was so ridiculous and so wrong in so many ways. You know which one I'm talking about. Like
I didn't even read it. I got so annoyed.
Yeah,
I was like,
know.
nope,
It was
not
so
for me.
bad. It's like, why is this person even reviewing The Witcher? It seems like she didn't want to do it and sat down to write the article just in spite and like has no affinity for fantasy whatsoever, because basically this article just went on to say that one of the like the wizards you meet in the first episode, Stregobor, is just like an incel 4chan wizard, and that The Witcher is basically like has the same feel that Lord of the Rings does, and like no this has nothing to do with the world of Tolkien or Middle Earth or anything remotely like it. Wow. I was just baffled at how childish and immature this article was. And like, I'm all for people critiquing and giving their honest opinion and point of view, but this was just someone who sat down and decided, I'm going to find anything and everything that could potentially be seen as being wrong or bad about this show and just put it into one article.
I think I agree, but I also think that a lot of people might not know that The Witcher actually are books that was written many years ago.
Yeah. Oh, also, by the way, before I have to, Chibita has spent some points on our channel because they have a new point program, which is costume change, which I put in for myself when I stream, which basically means put on a wig or do something. So I'm gonna, while you talk, I'm gonna have to put on a wig or something, because Chibita used points on that.
I have no idea what's going on, but fine, you do that. And not contribute.
No.
Okay.
It's a new thing that is on Twitch. People can use they get points whenever they watch something, and they can buy services or bonuses by using their points. So they can request like a costume change, and I put in that one that's called just Hotshot McFancy Pants, which is just if you have 2,000 points you want to blow just so you can be called Hotshot McFancy Pants, you can do that.
What the fuck? I have no idea what's going on. Okay. Costume change, fine. Do I have anything?
I don't know. You can put on a jacket or a pair of airs or something like.
I got it.
This is just for funsies, because it was requested.
Fine.
That's amazing. I did not have something that easy just lying around, so I'm just gonna have to fish something out here. Alright,
yeah.
where are we?
Okay, so Rick Make Stuff says, yeah, you mean Tolkien didn't have a scene where Aragorn slaughtered a village?
Yeah, no, funny how that was. And, like, everyone is racist and wants to kill each other. I don't remember that being in Tolkien. I mean, sure, orcs, but they kind of deserve it.
Perfection, Sunniva. Thank you, Rurai. Also, I have a theme going on. I've got one pink thingy, and this pink thingy here, and this pink thingy here. All right, back on track. I guess. Shall we move on to the next thing on our list, which is the characters?
All right, I'm blonde now, so is that good enough for you, Chibita?
Let's talk about the characters.
Yes, let's talk about the characters. Okay, so the first on the list in the cast, of course, is Geralt of Rivia, which is played by Henry Cavill. Mm-hmm. And so what do we think about, Geralt of Rivia and Henry, for that matter?
I know when Netflix announced that they were doing the series of The Witcher, and it was announced that Henry Cavill was in fact the actor who was playing Geralt, there were a huge mass hysteria going on over the internet about it, because I don't know. I actually don't know, but it was apparently something that he did once or twice. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
he made
he's
a comment about women being hard to talk to on Twitter.
right. That was it.
Yeah, pretty much.
And for that, people started hating on him or something. I was a little bit skeptical of him being Geralt because, for one, he plays Superman, and Superman is too smug.
Yeah, Superman is
for
boring.
Geralt.
I've never liked Superman.
Anyway, and Geralt is like, I don't know, he's supposed to be a little bit more worn out than Superman, so it was just hard for me to see him as what I would envision Geralt to look like.
Yeah.
But when you actually got to see him in the series and see the teasers and see the trailers and stuff, you would just be like, wow, it fits so perfectly.
Yeah.
And fun fact about the reason he got the role as Geralt is because Henry Cavill is a super big Witcher fan.
Yeah.
He's been playing the games, and when he got to know that Netflix was doing the series, he was like, you gotta give me the role. I'm in. Yeah, no matter what you say, I am going to be Geralt of Rivia.
Which I think is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
It's always fun when someone who is a genuine fan of a franchise gets to be part of the franchise.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's so cool. And you can see that in the way he acts as Geralt too. Like, he is basically acting as Geralt from the games, because he walks like Geralt, he talks like Geralt, he broods like Geralt. It's like everything is just Geralt, and it's cool.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Especially when he does that.
Yeah. Because all of his hmms are different, and it's like it's an annoyed a relaxed an inquisitive Like, there's so many of them. Like, I saw a compilation the other day of just Geralt saying It was amazing.
That could be a drinking game, actually.
Yeah.
You can watch The Witcher from start to end and drink every time Geralt says
or fuck.
Oh yeah,
those two. Whenever he does one of those things, people have to drink. Yes. I think that would be a pretty good one. All right, so the next one, we're going to talk about costumes and wigs and stuff later, because that's a separate point. We're not going to get into that right now. So the next one up is Ciri, played by Freya Allen. What do we think of Ciri?
I loved her.
Yeah, I think she looks perfect, and she does a really good job. And she looks so much younger than she really is in the show. Like, she looks like she's like 12 or 13 or something. But I mean, I'm not sure how old Freya Allen is in real life, but I'm pretty sure she's older than that.
Freya Allen. She is 18, so not that far off.
Well done on her. She looks young.
No, I think they did a perfect match for Ciri, actually. There's a lot of things that checks off that's right about the actress compared to the books. Yeah, it's no big things that I had a reaction to, like on Ciri. Because Ciri is supposed to be very small and frail, and I think they found a perfect actor for, I don't know, just embodying like, because Ciri in the games are really cool, tough, and the character that we meet in Netflix series isn't that yet. No. But we know what Ciri is gonna become later. We know. We're not gonna say anything. No,
I mean, because she's supposed to be like a little spoiled and a little like brazen or arrogant and a bit of a troublemaker, which she definitely is. She has her own opinions and she does her own thing, and even when she's confronted with something horrible that her grandma did, she's like, no, that's not true. That can't be true. She would never do that, you know. But she's still very innocent and very young, which clearly is the point of it's like the origin story thing going on. And yeah, she's supposed to be like ashen gray hair or very like pale blonde, green eyes, pale skin. So definitely hitting that on like the character description part of it too.
It seems like Diodite is agreeing with us,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I have no issues with Siri whatsoever.
No, me
Um,
neither. I
but
enjoy her. She's
there's
doing a
gonna
good
be
job.
someone later that we're gonna talk about, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose.
Elephant in the room, I guess.
Well, the next one up is Yennefer, played by
Yes.
Anya Chalotra.
Yes.
This is a very talked about character.
It is.
It is. And I just have to say, hands down, Anya Chalotra, MVP, best performance of the show goes to Anya because
Yes.
her portrayal of Yennefer is just amazing.
It is very, very cool to see her play Yennefer.
Mm.
Like the thing I reacted the most of on Yennefer was that to me she looks too young. She looks too innocent,
Yeah.
and she looks like a little bit too. I don't know. She's not weathered enough for Yennefer for my part, at least the way I have envisioned her. But
Yeah.
the way she portrays her kind of makes me forget about those issues, and it's like, yeah, you've sold me over.
Yeah.
You
I think
are.
one of the reasons why they chose someone who looks as young as she does is because they wanted to show the whole origin of Yennefer's story, and it would be very hard to find an actress who was, who would look like a good younger version of her, or an older actress who would play young. So in
Hmm.
that regard, I totally understand the casting choice here.
Yeah,
Um, mm,
I really enjoyed her as Yennefer.
yeah, and
Uh,
just in general, I think it's very interesting that they've chosen to like focus on the three characters, like Yennefer, Ciri, and Geralt, for the show, because those are the three timelines we follow. Those are the
mm,
three main characters. Um, and this goes into one of the questions that Superhero Girl Creations kind of sent in to us, is that a lot of people have kind of reacted to Yennefer's transformation from being, disabled and sort of disfigured, and then, being magicked into a beautiful, perfect version of herself and fixing her problems with magic. Apparently, some people are feeling like that kind of took away from the representation of people who have physical disabilities, or physical challenges in other ways. I haven't read any of those comments. It was just brought up to us by Melina. And personally, I mean, I don't have a visible physical disability, but I do have a physical disability that makes things difficult sometimes for me. And if I had a magic cure that would, fix it so I didn't have to deal with it anymore, I would happily take it. So I can understand Yennefer wanting to be the, ideal physical version of herself in that way. But
yeah,
that's just my opinion, of course. Everyone else is entitled to have their own opinion on the matter. I don't know
of course.
what you think about it.
Um, I can see the issue from like a standpoint of the whole we should celebrate who we are, don't follow the rest of the sheep just because they tell you this is the right way to go
Hmm.
mentality of it. But then again, this is a book.
Yeah.
This is how the story goes.
This is how
That
it was
is
written.
this is how it was written, and it is all the witches and mages in the Witcher
Yeah.
fandom
It's not
do
just
this.
Yennefer.
No, this
When
is actually something that the author has put in the books.
Yeah.
It's I don't know, it's how much should you change a thing just to please how society is today kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it reflects how the world really works, because a lot of people don't trust what they don't know. Something that is strange, or that is not considered to be traditionally beautiful, or something that is seen as being monstrous. It's hard to, for people to get comfortable or trust things they encounter in the world that are like that. And so to be conventionally beautiful is easier it will be easier to have kings, agree with you and listen to you, and it will be easier to deal with people in general if you are considered to be conventionally beautiful.
Mm-hmm. It's sad, but
Yeah,
it's
it's sad,
true.
but that's how the world works. And I think Yen's transformation is a very good comment on how society only seems to value beautiful, conventionally attractive or powerful people.
Yeah,
So to me, I don't see it as being problematic. I just seeing it as being a reflection of how the world really is.
I
Sad
agree.
as it is.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But that's why it's when you interpret something, there's never
Yeah.
one right answer to it. It's you always will get out of it whatever you kind of have put in it
Yeah.
yourself already.
Yeah.
So
Rick says that I think she nailed the performance as Yen. Ryura says it may take away, but it does show that people want to change themselves, and that is the sad truth. Yes, people want to change themselves. They do.
yeah, why else do we color our hair, wear wigs, use makeup,
Yeah,
use clothes for that
contacts.
matter?
Yeah, everyone wants to change themselves. No one wants to be exactly how they are when they were born and how they look naturally. Very few people do. I don't know anyone who does, as far as I know. Scritch also says, also Stregobor forced her hand. I'm not sure Stregobor was the one who forced her hand, but the Brotherhood forced her hand. They were going to send her to Nilfgaard. She really didn't want to go to Nilfgaard. And the whole elven blood thing came out, and yeah, she was backed up in a corner.
Yeah, she was.
So, and they show people trying to stop her from doing it in the show, Ria also says. And Rick notes that, isn't that from the books? I'm sure it was mentioned in the games that most of the sorceresses had some kind of disability. Yes, that's most of them are born with a form of disability or disfigurement, or there's always something a little bit off about them or different about them. And all of the sorceresses go through this transformation when they ascend or graduate from Aretusa. So Yennefer isn't the only one who is changed, but she is definitely the one who has the most dramatic change in the show. Because most of the others looked a lot like themselves after the transformation. Like Fringilla Vigo, for example, hadn't really changed much. But one of her other friends became skinnier and with bigger boobs and whatnot. So, yeah. We're not saying it's not problematic for some people, but we're saying that's how it was written. That's how the universe is made up to be. And so they are following the books in that regard. And,
but it's a good thing that it makes people think, because I think that is the exact point of it, you know?
Yeah, it should make people think and discuss and talk about it, and that's what TV shows and music and art and entertainment in general isn't just there to make you feel comfortable and good about yourself. It's also supposed to make you a little bit uncomfortable or force you to think about things that you wouldn't necessarily think about elsewise. Even if it is just a quote unquote dumb fantasy show in some people's opinions, that doesn't mean you can't actually genuinely learn something from it, or yeah.
True.
Yeah. And Rick also confirms that yes, they're all born with some disability or aesthetics are flawed of some sort. Yeah. So it's a contested point, but I understand why it's there, and I kind of like it. I mean, the whole transformation scene was amazing. It was so intense watching Yennefer in that chair being, brushed with her own uterus. Ovaries. It was pretty hardcore, and she made a choice. Yennefer wants to be loved, and she wants to be beautiful, and she wants power. She wants it all, as she says. She is not content before she has it all. And she believed that no one would love her as long as she was, her true self, because she sees herself as ugly, and the world around her sees her as being ugly. And she didn't think she could ever be loved as she was. Which I think is true for a lot of people. I think a lot of people probably feel that way. No one
Yeah.
will ever love me because I'm too small or too big or too this or too that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay,
yeah.
next one.
Yeah, next one.
We can talk about, Yennefer year.
Yes, we
Wanted
can.
to, I guess.
Let's see. Do we want to talk about Fringilla Vigo,
Of
which is
course.
played by Mimi and Duini? I think that's how you say it. I'm not sure. And Dueni. It's a tricky spelling. Yeah, so Fringilla Vigo is one of the other sorceresses that starts at Aretusa at the same time as Yennefer does. And she is the one who gets sent out to be the advisor for the Emperor of Nilfgaard.
Yes, she is.
Which is the post Yennefer was supposed to have, but didn't. She goes from being very quiet and demure to being a really kind of psycho badass. I don't know what to say. She has no qualms with hurting other people by the end of it all.
No, but that's what happens in the books as well. Like, Fringilla is a hard sword. And I think she does a good job. I think she portrays Fringilla. I like. You see, like, I have played The Witcher 3, which is the third game, and some of the characters I knew who was on beforehand. I knew that Fringilla is a character in the series, like in the games, but I just couldn't understand which one it was. So I had to Google who is Fringilla, and when I saw the pictures, it's then it turns out like this is one of the characters who has changed the most for the series.
Yeah, absolutely. She is one of the co-founders of the Sorceresses of the Lodge.
Yes.
Which hasn't happened yet in the series.
So we're not going to talk more.
No, we're not going to talk about that because that'll just be confusing for you guys. But she's very powerful. She has, she's a bit different from what she would be in the game, but the game isn't canon anyway, so.
No, but from the books as well.
Yeah.
She is supposed to have dark short hair, and she kind of has that in the series ish.
At least towards the end, she does.
Yes, she does. But the rest, like, they have changed the character completely, and I don't have an issue with it at all. No. I think that's completely fine because it still embodies who Fringilla is.
Yeah, it doesn't take away from her personality or any of the things she's done whatsoever.
No. So I think that's completely fine.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna take my wig off. It's really warm in here.
You're allowed to. No, but I think Fringilla is one of the coolest characters, and I really, really enjoy her, the actor's portrayal of her in the series. Other than that, I am very curious of what we're gonna see next. And also, like, a few of the magical things that she does, they kind of explain some of it and how it works without, with the way that magic is about give and take. And if you take too much, then you will give from yourself. And it kind of explains it and shows it in a cool way. But some of the magical powers of Fringilla isn't really explained yet.
No.
And I can't wait to see more in the next season, I hope.
So, it makes sense to jump on to Tisea de Vries next, which is the rectoress at Aretusa, the headmistress, you could say. And I've seen a lot of articles refer to Aretusa like goth Hogwarts, which makes me so angry because it's nothing like that at all.
Oh,
and
it's not.
The reason why you're taken in and tutored as a mage is because if you're not tutored, you'll slowly lose your mind and go crazy because you don't know how to use your magic. I don't think it's the same in Harry Potter.
No, it's not.
So there's a big difference there, just to begin with. Tisea de Vries, I think a lot of people will probably have like a hate-love relationship with Tisea. I really like her.
I'd like to say I have nothing wrong to say about her.
No. I mean, she's stern. She has she has to do a lot of distasteful things, like turn her students into eels and sacrifice them to infuse Aretusa with power. But I mean, she has to. That's her job.
Yeah.
And I think one of her lines is one of the best lines in the whole show, and that is the sometimes the best thing a flower can do for us is to die. Because it sounds really bad in one context, and in the other it doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, it's the key for them to understand how magic works, but it's also a really grim outlook on life.
It is, but then again, so is life too, I guess.
Yeah. Pretty much. Which I
Yeah.
mean, I enjoy that about the show, that it has all of these dark things, just like the games and the books, where life is hard and filled with hard choices and sacrifices, and nothing is free.
Yeah, and a lot of real issues, like you have a choice, but none of the choices are actually any good.
No.
So you just have to choose between two bads.
Yeah, plague or
And,
cholera.
yeah, and a lot of things are like that. So
Yeah.
I like that it's not, it goes good for the good guys in the end. Woohoo! It's like it kind of does though, but you never know. It's like this show can take any turns at any.
Yeah, which
I like
appreciate. All right, the next one up on my list is Kahir, which is played by Eamon Farren, which is the Nilfgaardian commander that keeps chasing after Ciri.
Oh, I like him so much.
Yeah, I like him too.
He's not in the video games, but like the actor, I mean, he looks like a freaking cat.
Yes. There's something very feline about him, and he's a bad guy, and it's not my type really, but there's something just really like about him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Closing up on blanket mode now.
Yeah.
No, I mean he does a good job. He's intimidating and commanding, and seems a little bit like kind of like a one focus kind of guy.
He's mysterious.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. In that way, he is my type. I like him mysterious.
We should do that. We should like make a list of all different kind of bad guys from every series or movies ever, and we should discuss which one we would date and not.
Yes. Oh, that would be the best. Like, it's mystery dating game.
Yeah. No.
Let us know in the chat if you think that's a good idea. Like, if you want us to break down which villains from any game or TV show we would or would not date, let us know, because we will legit do it in the future. I swear. Okay. And Art says someone broke the hosts. We broke ourselves. We've only ourselves to blame.
Yeah. No,
right.
I kind of like I don't know a lot about the character, but it's like he feels like he seems like a little bit one-tracked. Like he has a goal and he does whatever it takes to get to that goal.
Yeah.
And I don't think that he's gonna be hard to beat at the end.
No,
I don't know.
not.
It's just a feeling I have because he is so full of himself that he doesn't see anything else.
And I mean, he's a complete psycho. He at the end of one of the episodes, he had slaughtered an entire tavern full of innocent people to find the Doppler, and Fringilla goes like, or whoever it was goes like, all you needed was a piece of silver to figure out who it was, and he was like, well, you can't be too sure or whatever. Or I didn't have a lot of time or something. He's very utilitarian, that man. It's like, well, it was the easiest thing to do. I didn't have a lot of time, okay? All right. No respect for human life. No. At all.
I'm very interested to see what that character actually is. Like, what is his goal? Yeah. How is he... Like, he cannot be a normal human, or... He has a secret. I'm sure of it. He must have.
There must be something.
Must be something.
We're waiting impatiently to know more about Kahir. Yeah. Where's his backstory? Where's his timeline?
Oh want to know.
All right, next one up is Dara, which is played by Wilson Raju Pujalte or something like that. He is one of the mages in the Brotherhood of Sorcerers. I think he's the uncle of Fringilla Vigo. So it's a very minor part. I don't have a lot to say about that character because you don't get to know a lot about it except that he really didn't want Fringilla to go to Nilfgaard.
Oh, it's that guy. Yeah, that's cool, I guess.
So yeah, he has a very small part in the show at large. Let's see. The next one up is Adam Levi, who plays Mousesack, the druid.
No.
What?
Dara is not that guy. Dara is the elf guy who helps Siri.
Is it? Oh yeah.
Yes.
There you go, Wilson. Yeah. Yeah. My mistake.
It's fine.
He looked so old in the thumbnail. Very small fine. Picture. All right, yeah. No, then he plays a much bigger part.
Yeah. No, I really like the elf guy that helps Siri. I'm very unsure. Like, is Dara a part of the games or not? Is he mentioned ever?
If he is, I don't know. I haven't played through The Witcher 2 completely, and there might have been somewhere where he could have been there, but I have no idea, to be honest. I know very little about Dara.
Yeah. No, I like him, at least from the... I need to figure that out. I need to... But I don't care right now. But...
No, but we'll go down that rabbit hole. But anyway, I mean, he is one of the only reasons why Ciri makes it through to the Forest of Brokilon. I mean, without him, she might have starved to death or frozen to death before she ever found someone else. So he plays a pretty vital part, and he is also the one who keeps like reminding Ciri not to trust everyone blindly, and like there's something off about this guy. I don't know him, but I can just tell.
But there's something special about him too. Like he keeps saving Ciri a lot of times. Yeah. Like every time that she is in trouble, like when she leaves him the first time, he's just suddenly gone, and he picks her up in the camp when it gets attacked. And then again, he does it like it's almost like he is her
like guardian angel.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So I'm very. It's gonna be interesting to see where this is going, because I have a feeling that he might there might be something more than just him being a boy that she accidentally met.
For sure. I mean, it feels like it matters more, at least. And I like the fact that he had this big hat on and was hiding the fact that he was an elf, and that, you know, people didn't see that until a bit further out in the episode. And as Art said, he was so cute.
He was very cute.
Yeah. So Dara is also a very key player in the story, for sure. All right. Then let's move on to Mousesack, the druid from Skellige, which is played by Adam Levi. I'm not sure.
Levi.
Yeah. And he's an old friend of Geralt's. Like, he knew Geralt before he came to the court of Sintra to be Dandelion's bodyguard. Like, they knew each other from way back. So that kind of tells you how old Geralt is. Geralt is like has been a Witcher for over 100 years at that point. And he acts as like an advisor to Queen Calanthe, and sort of like a tutor for Ciri, because she has the gift of the elven blood, the elder blood, as they and so he's very vital in just keeping Ciri safe until he's unfortunately killed by Cahir, the
bad guy.
Yeah, the bad guy. The hot bad guy.
But he's not hot either.
No, he isn't really. It's just something about him that's just like...
Something about him.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, Mousesack, I think I really enjoyed Mousesack as a character, and I got really sad when he died, and I was like, no, don't. Especially when they tell him to run, and I'm like, no,
it's a trap. It's a trap. Yeah.
So for some reason, I felt for the guy, and I just really liked the way. I just really liked the way that he was costumed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we're gonna talk a little bit about that later.
Yeah.
Not gonna go through every costume, of course. We're not
No,
gonna
we
do
don't
that.
have
But
time for that, but
no.
it's gonna run long enough as it is.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's a lot more to say about Mazak,
No.
really.
No, not really. Next one up is Joey Beatty, who plays Jaskier, or Dandelion, for those of you who play the games. Now, the thing with Dandelion is that that's not what he's called in the books, and that's not what he's called in the TV show. It's only in, like, the English translations of the book and in the games.
It's the game where he's called Dandelion.
Yeah. I'm listening to an audiobook now where he's also called Dandelion, but the guy who reads the book has misunderstood and keeps calling him Dandelion. It's hilarious. Every time he reads the name, he says Dandelion.
I can understand that though,
yeah.
but Jaskier, in Polish it means little yellow flower or something like that. So it's not a dandelion, but it's a different yellow flower, but it's still a yellow flower.
It makes sense, at least.
Yeah. But I can understand that a random person who reads a book says dandelion, because who would be called dandelion and being a boy, you know? It's a little bit weird.
Yeah, it's not within the realms of what's considered normal.
Yeah.
I think his real name is I had it just recently. It's something to do with Alfred. And he's a Viscount, actually. His real name is Julian Alfred Pancratz, and he is the Viscount de Lettenhove, or better known as Dandelion, or Jaskier. And he is a poet, a minstrel, and a bard, who just...
Dandelion is one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
Games. He's so cool, and seeing him, like, it was so easy to spot him, and that's one of the things that I've been doing while watching the series is trying to spot the characters I know from the games, like what are they like in the series. And Jaskier is I was like, that must be Dandelion, but why are they calling him Jaskier? And I was like, no, it has to be Dandelion. So he was the first, like, person I had to Google.
Yeah.
I just think he embodies the character perfectly. It's cool to see Dandelion. I just think it's cool because it's a cool.
It is.
I like it a lot.
Rick Make Stuff says it's Buttercup, isn't it? Yeah, I think the small yellow flower is Buttercup.
I think so too. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So thank you for filling that blank in. We appreciate it. But yeah, I love Dandelion too, or Jaskier. He's like the ultimate sidekick, and he's just the fact that he always lies about his and Geralt's conquests, and that he's the one who's always saving Geralt from things, and the whole relationship is beautiful to me. Because Geralt is like, oh god, you're so annoying, but I like you anyways. Fuck.
Yeah, there's a lot of toss a coin memes going on at the moment, and it seems like the internet in general really like Geralt and Jaskier's relationship, and same, like it's like yin and yang, you know. They there's no reason for them to actually like each other, but I think they do. I think even though Geralt says he doesn't, he really enjoys his company.
I mean, they're best friends, basically.
Without knowing. Well, Jaskier would say that they were best friends. Geralt will never, ever, ever say something like that.
But I mean, the fact that he goes through hell and high water to save his friend when he's injured kind of tells the truth, and like lets himself be dragged to royal parties to save his butt. So yeah, no, they've got something special, and I mean the song is so catchy. It's like we've been humming it on and off at home ever since we heard it, and like just putting it on to play every once in a while.
That's cool.
Yeah. So we're not gonna sing it for you now though, because you don't want to sing.
Hell no.
We don't do that. Rick Bigstuff says, the most important question regarding Jaskier is how long did you have toss a coin to your witcher stuck in your head?
Still.
Still, it's in my head. I constantly catch myself humming it. And Ryurai said that I was wondering who he was because I've seen cosplays of that bard from the game, so I was really wondering about that. Yes, because the design is so different. He doesn't have his soul patch in the series.
No, but like in the game, in the books, he's blonde. In the game, he's a brunette, and in the series, he's brunette too. So I think Dandelion actually in the Netflix series looks more like Dandelion from the game, even though it's supposed to be from the book.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think he's closer to Dandelion in the games, with some differences. But I really like the way Joey Beatty has portrayed Jaskier.
I do too.
I think he's convincing. I believe him as Jaskier.
I do so too.
All right, next one up is Stregobor, played by Lars Mikkelsen.
It's a horrible character, but I kind of really like the design of him, like the way they made him look. It's I don't know, it's just something really, really weird about his appearance. And I'm like, I don't know what it is, but you look cool, but I hate you because you're awful.
Or like the woman in that horrible article referred to him as an incel 4chan wizard.
It's kind of funny though, because it's kind of true.
I mean, it's funny. He's very misogynistic and, well, batshit crazy for that matter.
Yeah, but like it's the thing with the mages, you know, it's chaos. They are using chaos for magic, so there's no wonder some of them goes crazy.
I mean, using magic has a profound effect on your body. That is one of the reasons why sorceresses are sterile, or actually mages too. Both male and female magic users are infertile or sterile. So, and that's explained by the fact that most of them, well, one, they live so long, so when they're done studying, they're so old they can't have children anymore. That's one of the explanations. The other one is that the fact that they use magic changes their physiology, so they become sterile. And yet another one is that Tisea de Vries orders that all students at Aretusa must be sterilized because a sorceress should not, no one should be born a magic user. It's like being born with a curse, because you'll be born with deformities or be mentally insane or handicapped in some way. And also, if you're a sorceress and you advise a king, you have to be 100% focused on your job and your role as a sorceress.
Yeah, or else it will go wrong, like with Yen.
Yeah. So there are many reasons why that happens, and
there's also the thing where you have to give up something to use the magic as well, for it not with their like destroying yourself. So it's about the give and take.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. Because you do use your own life force to create magic if there's nothing else to use around you.
Yeah.
Which was wonderfully shown by Fringilla when her hands started to like rot away.
Yeah.
Right.
Next person. Is it Triss?
Almost. The next one is Istrid. The guy who Yennefer meets when she accidentally teleports for the first time.
Oh, yeah. I think their relationship is cute in the beginning, but when it turns out that it's not real, and it's ordered by Stregobor, then it kind of is like, poor Yen, really.
Yeah. I mean, I think it started out as being genuine, but they were both being manipulated by their teachers into gathering information so that their teachers could play each other and also them.
And it also shows that there are some differences between mages and witches. Like there's complicated political unspoken issues between the two factions, which I believe will come more into life during the next seasons.
But that's also the thing, like being like a country witch, you know, just some wise old crone living in the forest or whatever, is a very different thing from being a sorceress. Because a sorceress comes with like political intrigue and power play and a whole shitload of baggage, basically.
My point was just that it's different between the males
Yeah.
and the female.
Yeah.
That was the
They're
whole.
kind of bumping heads. They're not
Mm,
necessarily friends. No.
no.
Um.
I like the role. I like the cast, but
Mm.
I don't feel like it's necessary to talk a lot about him.
No. I don't find him very interesting as a character, to be honest. There's just it's a bit blah. He's there to show Yen that she can't trust in anyone and that love isn't real.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah.
that's his role. But he does a
Yeah.
good job. Not
He
saying he
does a very
doesn't.
good.
Yeah.
No. He does a really good job. I like the character and I like the choice of actor.
Yeah. Next
Yeah.
one is Triss, played by Anna Schaefer.
Okay.
And I know
So
you have a
this
lot to
one-
say.
No, it's not that. It's the whole community has a lot to say
Mm.
about this because this is the character that maybe looks the least like the one that's described in the books and in the games. And there's been a lot of internet discussions and stuff about this.
Mm.
Personally, I like the casting. I really enjoy her as Triss because I think she portrays Triss in a good way. The only thing I don't like is that they didn't choose to make her hair auburn, which is it's actually described as in the books.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
brown
missing
with
some
red tones.
Yeah, I'm missing some more red in there. But beyond that, I have no issues with the actress.
Absolutely not. I really, really adored her as Triss. It's only the choice of not giving her the red hair that's disappointing to me.
Yeah.
And that's just because Triss is such a big part in the Witcher universe, and her hair is such a
it's like
signature.
her trademark. Like it's like if I suddenly weren't blue anymore, you know what I mean?
Yeah, if you weren't blue anymore and people will still refer you as the one with the blue hair, then yes, it would be the same thing.
Yeah, it would be the same thing. I was disappointed by that too. The hair, but that's the only thing. She's so cute and she does a good performance, and I really like her face. Her face is just stunning.
But it's the thing, like Yen and Triss are the two sorceresses that you get to know the most throughout the Witcher series, or the books and the games, essentially.
Yeah.
And I think both of those actors portrays the characters as they look like, but what's the word I'm looking for? Jeez. Okay. My point is, I think Yennefer is exactly like Yennefer is both in the show and in the game, personality-wise.
Yes.
And the same goes with Triss. Like, Triss is kind of the opposite from Yen. Triss is kind of this lover of life, happy, just so much excitement. It's just that she manages to capture Triss's essence.
Yes,
is
I
my
agree.
point.
Yeah, which they both do.
Yes.
And there are some things we forgot to mention about Yen, which we'll get back to at some other point, but let's just continue down the list. I don't think we'll do absolutely every character from the entire show because it will take forever.
In my opinion, we don't really have to talk a lot about the rest of the characters, but there's one more, and that is Jodie May as Queen Calanthe.
Yes.
That is a big part in the series. She is actually not a part in the games at all.
No.
Maybe just mentioned, I think, but nothing other than that.
No, she's in the book. I mean, Queen Calanthe features in The Last Wish, which is the first book, which is basically just a compilation of short stories about Geralt and Geralt's activities. And that's pretty much what the first season of The Witcher is based off of, is the first, like, collection of short stories, which is called The Last Wish, which has all to do with the djinn. That's why it's titled The Last Wish.
Right.
But
I think she is a badass. Yes. No matter what she's supposed to be in the books or whatever, it's a really great character. And it's I really enjoy the way that they kind of have used Queen Calanthe and all the scenes that includes her and her castle and blah 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 and her crowd to tell the story of how the world works, like how is the Witcher, like how their society and world is, because they use a lot of the scenes from Sintra to tell about Sintra and to tell about Skellige and to introduce different kind of areas and history, and that I think is very smart.
Absolutely. I thought she did a really good, believable figure as a queen who's just fed up of being bound by, a man's world, basically. I mean, after her previous husband died, she refused to take a new husband because she didn't want to be just, some quiet queen in the background who didn't get anything to say. Thank you to I can't read, Nolan Fife something for following. That's really kind of you. And also thank you for Paul Marius, who liked the stream earlier. We appreciate it.
We do.
There. Nolan Pfeiffer. Hello. Good luck. Zelda Instagram. The CosCast. Thank you for using our emote, our custom emote. We appreciate it so much. No, yeah. So, interesting character, well played, well written. I like her.
Yes,
I'm just quickly going to go through some of the other, just to list them off, some of the characters that we meet. Vilgefortz, the Mage, Eithne, Sir Laszlo, King Foltest, Zola, Sir Danek, Artorius, the Dryad General, Corin, Pavetta, Urchian, which is the guy she ends up marrying, who is the father of Ciri. And, of course, Renfri. We can't forget about Renfri, because she is the reason why Geralt became the Butcher of Blaviken. Well, her and Stregobor, because they made him choose. He didn't want to choose.
No.
He had to. So, and I mean, Renfri was such an interesting character to start it all off with, because she was a human monster and, really drove it home that not all the monsters Geralt is going to meet in this world are going to be quote unquote beasts. That's
very true.
Yeah. Well, the same goes for Stregobor, really. I mean, they're both monsters in their own way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought she was a really interesting character, and I find it so endearing that he carries her antique brooch with him wherever he goes.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's a cool, I think it's a reminder for him, for those exact words, that not every monster are, monsters.
And
or not every evil is, whatever. But yeah.
And sometimes you have to choose. Even though it is choosing between a higher and lesser evil.
Yeah. And also, you shouldn't kill a monster only because it's a monster or look like a...
he sees context. He sees the individual. He doesn't just see, a beast, let's kill it. Which is something that is also in the games.
Yep.
You can choose to just let monsters go and just I'll just lie and say that I drove it off or whatever, or I won't take the payment because I would rather not kill you because you're clearly not a monster, What's your dog doing?
Barking.
Yeah. So I mean that's the biggest, the most central characters that we've gone through that only took an hour.
Yeah, we did talk about other things as well.
Yeah, we did. So we derailed a little bit, but yeah, those are the main characters that we wanted to talk about. Yeah, someone has spent some points to ask us anything. Jeopardy question.
What's the question?
Yeah, what is the question? Send it to us in the chat.
No, that is a Jeopardy question. In Jeopardy, you should ask the question.
Oh, right.
They say the answer, and we say, what is blah, blah. I think that's right. I don't know.
Yeah, it's been such...
So, what is the question is the right answer.
Yeah. What is the question? Yes. What is the question, Nolan Pfeiffer? And then you can choose whatever you want.
Okay.
Yeah. So until you post the question, we will just be moving right along. Okay. So the next thing is storylines, which is also a big topic.
I'm so glad.
What?
I'm so glad.
What?
I'm so glad that I didn't get this spoiled
Mm-hmm.
on how the timelines and storylines were working, that I didn't know about it in the beginning, because it was such a nice uh, thing for me to experience that on my own and actually figuring it out on my own. That I hate spoilers, every kind of spoilers, because those kind of things will spoil a show for me. Like if
Mm-hmm.
anyone had told me in the beginning that the timelines are a bit weird,
Mm-hmm.
then I would have known, and it wouldn't have surprised me, and it wouldn't have had the same impact as it had.
Yeah. No, I guess, I mean, I understood that that was what was happening, you know?
Hmm.
Um, I got that pretty fast.
Hmm.
But I didn't know that that's what they were doing when they started either. But it was like, I think it was by episode 2, I was like, oh, that's what they're doing. Okay, I get it now.
Hmm.
But that's only because I had read The Last Wish before and played the games before and had some idea of like where the timelines and events were.
Hmm.
So, but it was interesting the way they chose to do it. And to some who aren't familiar, yeah, I can see how that would be super confusing to begin with.
But I think it was a smart thing to do. It was a very smart thing to, in a way, it was a new thing. Like, it isn't a streamlined, normal way of telling a story.
Mm.
And I really, really enjoyed that they tried something new with telling a story. So, to me, at least, it worked perfectly.
Mm.
And I haven't read the books. I've only played the third game. Like I'm familiar with the game number 1 and number 2, but I haven't played them myself. I've only watched like tidbits of other people play it.
Mm.
But the third game I played all by myself, so I know a few of the things, but like I wasn't that familiar with everything that was going on. So, but it was such a nice like thing to see, like script wise, and a really, really nice solution of telling a story.
Yeah. So, the 3 storylines are, just to make it easy, Geralt, which you follow from when he got his nickname for the Butcher of Blaviken. You have Ciri from the evening at the ball where Sintra was attacked. And then you have Yennefer, her origin story from when she was just a normal girl and got taken to Aretuza. Those are the 3 storylines. And they all begin at different points in time. Geralt obviously begins way, way back. And then Yennefer, when Geralt meets Yennefer, she has been a sorceress for about 30 years-ish already. And Ciri finds Geralt at the time when Yennefer is fighting at Sodden and releasing all of that fire at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So some years have passed, and so I think Yennefer is probably around 70 or 80 years old at this point in time. But you can't tell.
No.
Yeah. But yeah, Nolan, please let us know, or specify what Jeopardy question means so we can answer your Ask Us Anything question, because I'm not really sure we got it right, and I hope you can explain what you meant. Ryurai says that I got warned that there was some sort of weird timeline, but not detailed, and it was kind of fun figuring out the mystery myself. Yes!
Yeah.
I think that's cool too. I think it's kind of boring when you can tell exactly what's going on and you don't have to pay attention and kind of think for yourself. So
yeah,
I appreciated that about the show.
Same. I really liked it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know if there's that much more to say about it unless anyone else wants to ask us a question about the storylines. Like if there's something you didn't understand or...
I just think it's cool that now when season 2 comes, everyone is at the same place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe.
Hopefully, at least. Yeah. No, I think the one thing is that because there are 3 different timelines and a lot of information thrown at you all at once, it might be kind of hard to like discern and understand and take in like the whole universe. It's not like the first season of Game of Thrones where you basically were in the north for a long time and the fancy southern people are coming to visit the north and the winter is coming in the north, because it started very small, so you got attached to a small cast of characters, and then it just grew and grew as the season went.
I kind of disagree a little bit about that, because there's so many characters in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
In The Witcher, there are it's a lot of characters, but there are really 3 main characters,
yes.
and it's very clear that these are the 3 main ones,
and they will
those
always
are the
be
ones
the
follow.
main characters.
Yeah, in Game of Thrones, it's just like this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, and this one, and this one.
This one died, so here's another one for you.
So I remember when I watched every season back after seeing from 1 to 6, I went back to see it begin at the beginning again, and I was like, oh, that's that guy. Oh, it's that guy. Yeah.
Now
so
it makes sense.
Yeah,
that's true.
I don't have that feeling after watching.
No, I don't think it's going to be so bad that you'll be like in season 3 of The Witcher and you're going to be like, who the fuck is this character? I don't remember this person. I mean, if it's a new character, you're going to know that it's a new character.
We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, let's move on to the costumes, because I really want to costumes and the wig
Let's talk about costumes and wigs. Now, the first thing that comes to mind is Geralt's wig, of course, because a lot of people have been talking about it, and there are so many people who hate it so much.
But it is really bad. It's very easy to tell that they, in this series in particular, all the wigs are very easy to tell. It's like, oh, that's wig quality. Yeah. That's wig quality. That normal hair, real hair doesn't move like that.
No, the one thing is, though, I think that Geralt's wig in some episodes looks really good.
Oh, yeah. It changes.
And in some episodes, it's like, why is his hairline so long up in his forehead? Like,
And also, it changes color.
And texture.
Now it's steel gray.
Now it's fluffy. Yeah. Now it's really straight. What's going on?
Maybe it's because in the game you can actually go to the hairdresser and choose different hairstyles. Maybe that's the reason.
I don't know. I don't think so, but it would be funny if that was the case. But the quality and the look of his wig is very variable throughout the season. Sometimes it looks more successful than other times.
And it's not only Geralt's wig; it's Ciri's as well. Ciri's hair is some episodes, but in others, it's just like. Hermione Granger?
What happened?
Hermione Granger's hair is supposed to look like. No, I don't know. It's just that it's there's something weird with the wigs.
Yeah.
And the contact lenses. I have so many problems with the contact lenses because it's so easy to tell that they are contact lenses.
The only one I think is really hard to tell with is Yen. They look so good.
They look very good. But Ciri's eyes? No. And Geralt's eyes?
Yeah. No, I mean, you can really tell that he's wearing yellow contact lenses. And they have to be edited to not look like contact lenses a lot of the time, which is sad. But I appreciate that they've done that, actually. I mean, I don't mind the fact that you can tell that it's contact lenses because at least he has yellow eyes. At least Yen has violet eyes.
That's true.
I as a fan of the franchise appreciate that they've kept true to, because I mean Daenerys Targaryen was supposed to have like silvery white hair and purple eyes. She
doesn't.
No, she has neither. She is blonde.
Yeah.
The end. So, I just really appreciate that they've kind of kept true to the descriptions of the characters in the books.
I agree. I agree.
So,
but it's like it just. Because to me, I guess, because sometimes when they use contact lenses in other shows and other movies, it looks realistic, or it kind of looks. I think it's just that the colors are so bright that it kind of looks a little bit too cartoony for me, or a little bit like as if it was the video game. It's like as if they have chosen their aesthetic based on the video game, which isn't what they were supposed to do.
No, or because they've said that they were supposed to follow the books more than the games because the games aren't canon, but they've clearly mixed the two.
They have.
Yes.
So I don't really have an issue with contacts or the hair. Like, I think it's all right. It's just that it's just like, it's a little bit cartoony. Are you really doing your own thing, Netflix? Are you trying to copy the game? What are
We'll
you
see.
doing?
We'll see. Rick says, I'm wondering if it has to do with what they were filming. Would have had the time budget for expensive wigs when they're filming action scenes. Well, that
Maybe.
fair point. That could be. It could be budgeting and time issues and stuff. Or it could just be that they, because they film some places in Eastern Europe and some some scenes in other places, like maybe they didn't have the same crew at hand.
Probably didn't. They
No.
probably have different wigs,
Yeah.
different hair stylists, different everything.
Because I
So
imagine their wardrobe probably didn't travel with them. So
no.
that might be a reason.
But one other thing, like, because The Witcher, the game, is one of the games that has the most elaborate costume designs, like, ever. Like, the costumes that's used in the games are so freaking amazing and so detailed and so
beautiful.
lavish and so awesome.
Yeah.
So I was very exciting to see, like, how far would the series take it.
Yeah.
And I am not disappointed, to be honest. I think they have kind of kept that
The
style and
lavishness?
aesthetics.
Yeah.
Yeah, in some of the costumes.
Yes, not all of them.
Not all of them, no. But, like, for Geralt, I think it's good. And Yennefer.
A lot of
dresses.
her stuff is good. I mean, if you look at Geralt's armor, because he changes armor throughout, because it gets broken and torn up, and all of them have these little details like stitches or iron studs, or like there's always something to it. It's not just like, oh, we threw some leather on this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Which, okay, they do when he's out of armor, but
that's leather pants.
Leather pants. But I don't mind. I'm not angry.
No, not at all.
No,
not at all. Like, from the games at least, Yennefer's are really, really amazing, and she has a specific kind of both style and colors that she uses, and I think that the series has been good at keeping the same silhouettes as the games. Like, you see that with Geralt as well. It's the same silhouette that you're used to seeing Geralt in the game.
Absolutely.
And those small details, I think, is amazing that they've used, because they use something that people are familiar with, even though they're not supposed to. No, but they still did it, and I'm happy about it.
Okay, no, but okay, I have one particular dress that I hate.
Yeah,
hate
the rope dress.
Yes, it's so bad. It's awful. It's ugly, and it doesn't fit Yennefer right. And it's made completely out of synthetic fiber ropes that you would use on curtains. And I'm like, no, why? Who made this dress? They need to be fired. It's so bad.
And she's supposed to fight a battle in that dress.
Yeah,
I'm like, no.
and it was like, I was almost incapable of enjoying that whole battle scene just because I was so distracted by how fucking awful that dress is. It's so bad.
Funny. But I knew which one you were going to say. I just had to guess it just to see if I was right.
And you were. I hate that dress. I really, really do.
I didn't enjoy it particularly myself.
No. But beyond that, I think most of her outfits are pretty spot on Yennefer. The coat, with the big fur collar, I don't like the fabric of the coat because I think the print is too modern. It looks like it's made of synthetic fiber, and the pattern looks like it's like digital, like it's printed. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So I didn't like that. I'm usually not a big snob when it comes to those things, really, but I noticed and I couldn't unnotice it.
Right. I just looked at the colors, the silhouette, and the design, really. I didn't really paid attention on fabric, but yeah. I really enjoyed her necklaces. That was one of the details that I really, really liked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but in general, I really like her wardrobe. They've kept to the very like slim silhouette with the black and the white, and I think they've done a good job with the wardrobe in general. I really like the dress she wore at the ball after her transformation. I really liked all the beads hanging around the waist and stuff.
Oh yes,
that was so pretty. Not 100% sold on the leather bolero thing with the straps, but it was okay. And also
I
when she visits a store, like an apothecary or something, and she has like the see-through with like black lacing and then like a black dress over that again. I really like that one too.
It's very beautiful. I can't wait for them. I would really want to see some of Triss's costume designs if Triss has a bigger role, because in the games, Triss has some of the most iconic wardrobes in the entire game.
For sure.
And but one thing from the series is Ciri, because Ciri is wearing the same thing throughout the whole series.
Yeah, pretty much.
And the thing is, she is through a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
But the clothes is clean sometimes. And I'm like, when did you have time to clean your hair and your clothes?
Yeah.
You always look spotless. Why?
There are times where you can see that they're dirty and a little bit worn, but then it switches up and like, okay, they're clean again.
Yeah. She probably had the time to do that, but it's like I wouldn't have prioritized that first if I was in her shoes.
No,
I would just toss my clothes and get new ones, especially since everyone seems to notice that cape of hers.
I mean, it's a dead giveaway that she has money or had money at some point in time.
Yeah. So that's one thing that I was like,
What I kind of think is cool about her outfit though is that she's wearing pants.
Oh yeah, she is.
It's not a skirt. It's just really wide-legged pants. And if just her top was a little bit longer, because sometimes I feel like I'm either seeing midriff or like an underdress or a shirt or something peeking through between the pants and the shirt. But beyond that, I think it's pretty cool. And Triss has a very beautiful blue dress in some of the scenes when Geralt is trying to rid the Foltest and Temeria of the Striga. I think that one is really beautiful. It's like this blue affair, and then she has a little cape over it with fur on it.
It's very nice.
It's very pretty. So yeah, overall, Tisea de Vries, she has a lot of pretty dresses too, but they're very like almost Victorian inspired. They're very tight, very buttoned up, high collars sometimes, and
but you see that a lot in Witcher games too.
Yeah, you do.
So they are very I think inspired by European kind of royalty wear, which the games are too.
Yeah,
which is.
To me, I get Victorian, but without the big, bustle on the butt kind of vibe from her. And I really like, she has this, I think it's red velvet with like beads in the shape of leaves on her shoulders in the ballroom scene, which is absolutely gorgeous. And her earrings in that scene too, they're really like sparkly gemstones and they're beautiful.
Awesome.
So
what is that? What is that? What is art? What was that?
What is what?
Art director.
Oh, art director. It's that is for art streams.
Okay. So
it's that someone gets to choose the subject and theme for the next art video I do.
Oh, okay. Why did it show up now?
I don't know. Did someone use it?
I don't know.
It doesn't say anything in the chat, at least, so that means that no one has used it. Maybe it just popped up if you were hovering over the point icon, because it does that sometimes.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So we'll talk about the channel points thing at some other point in time, because our viewers need to know about them and you need to know about them.
I need to know about them. Yeah. I know nothing.
Yeah. I've just been using them for myself when I've been live streaming. So
yeah,
it's just that they're universal for the channel. So
yeah, it's fine. It's completely fine.
We can decide on some common mutual goals or point thingies. Art says maybe you had enough points. That could be it. Maybe you've just earned enough points by watching that you can purchase it.
Oh, maybe.
I think you get notifications when you have enough points to purchase stuff.
Ah, okay, cool.
It's new to us too. They released it like right before Christmas or something. So
Yeah, and I think the reason why I see these things is because I'm logged in as myself on my own
yeah,
on the CosCast. So
yes,
if
that
I
makes
write
sense.
ha 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 in the chat, you can see that it's me. So
Yeah. There we go. That's Sunnivaster. All right. Yeah. So do you guys watching have anything you want to say about costumes or wigs or lenses or anything that has to do with that? Write it in the chat. We'll talk about it. Um,
I don't think we have to say a lot about Scenography, the next one,
no.
other than it was cool and awesome.
Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, I didn't pay a lot of attention to the scenography just because I was very busy paying attention to the dialogue and the outfits and the actors and everything.
Yeah, but I think everything is good. Like, it looks real. The castle looks real. The only thing I reacted to was after the fight scene in the gala, when Siri's mother and father kind of wedded.
Yeah.
After the fight, there were no blood on the floor. And
there should have
clearly
been.
a lot of bloodshed was shed that
Yeah,
night.
yeah. There should have been a bit of a mess there.
But other than that, I didn't really catch up on anything that was weird. But like they used a lot of lighting to set the mood and
Yeah.
good angles, and I think they did like the quality of the tech during this was very awesome.
Yeah, no, you can clearly see that they had a good budget for scenography and production, and like just all of the rooms and spaces that the characters were in were filled and felt like they were lived in. Like they were all proper rooms or places.
They were,
which I very much appreciate.
Same. Did I saying I found the costumes really interesting, but terrifying of cosplaying anything. Same.
Same. If I were to cosplay from the show, which I'm really tempted to do, actually, I really want to. It would probably be one of Yennefer's dresses, just not the super complicated ones. Or maybe.
Does anyone have any suggestions? Maybe I would. No.
Your audio cut out. What did you say? Does anyone have any suggestions?
For me, who should I cosplay from the series?
Well, you can suggest
Strigabor? No.
Well, you can suggest it for both of us. Which of the characters in the show do you think we would suit for cosplaying? And then we'll tell you if we agree or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about the music, though? I think actually I enjoy the music from the games a lot more because I think that the music they used for in the show is a little bit too pop-ish. It's a little bit too mainstream. Not enough gypsy feels.
Yeah, because that's the thing with the game, The Witcher 3, is that it's got this very Eastern European, ethnic, folky, gypsy-ish. It's so good. It's so good. But I mean, the music in the show it is good. It sets the mood very well. Like I get the vibe of all of the scenes very easily when the music comes on. And obviously it is helped along by Jaskier and the whole toss a coin to your Witcher. And there's a song at the end of one of the episodes, which I can't remember, but which is also like an original song for the show, which I thought was really cool, but I can't remember which episode it was and what it's called. But
oh well.
In general, I just think they've done a good job with all over the line in general.
They did.
Oh yeah, about the costumes for the dragon from
Oh yes, dragon. Yeah. I really enjoyed that they did a dragon in a new way. Yes. They designed their own dragon, and I really liked that.
Yeah, I liked it.
At first, I was a little bit taken aback at first, but then I was like, no, you know what? This is awesome. This is cool. They did their own thing. They didn't copy anything, and I like it.
Yeah. The only thing I was like, when I first saw the character in the beginning of the episode and saw what he was wearing, I'm like, he looks like he's wearing a lizard, like a golden lizard, and I was like, there's something about you.
Yeah,
and I was right.
I think that's cool.
Yeah. Ryudai says that actually I think Sunniva would do a good Yennefer, while Anita could be a nice Triss, maybe. There you go.
There you go.
And also Ryudai says, I somehow guessed the dragon and freaking loved it. Yes, you are the dragon girl, so of course you would.
That's true.
I also actually considered Renfrey for cosplay because I think she's really cool.
Who was that again?
Renfrey is in the first episode, the princess.
Oh yeah. She, yeah. I was like, insignificant. I don't remember.
No, I think she would be fun to do because it's very like halfway armory, kind of rugged.
Yeah, she has a cool design.
Yeah. The only thing I'm terrified of is her leather breastplate because I don't know if it's beads or metal things that are sewn on it, but I don't know. I don't want to do that.
No.
But when she's just in her shirt and her pants and the cloak, and so I can do that. I feel like I can.
Oh yeah, she has a good design. Like she is the Arya Stark of The Witcher.
She is,
and she's very cool.
I like her. I like Renfrey.
I do too.
Except for the fact that she just couldn't let shit go.
Yeah. But a lot of people are like that.
She needs a little bit more Elsa in her life. Basically.
Right.
Just to take it back to our first departure where we went on a tangent. Okay, so
I actually think that if Ryura were doing a cosplay, she would actually do a good Ciri.
Yeah, I think also she would be a good Ciri. That could fit. Yeah, or also, Triss. I could see her as Triss too.
Yeah. Triss too. Rick Make Stuff says, it made me want to cosplay Geralt again, but I'm not sure I'd do the show or game. There's not a big difference between the show or the game, so you don't really have to choose.
The silhouette is pretty much the same. It's just minor details that are very different. Oh, it would be very cool to be Queen Calanthe, though.
Oh, that would be really cool.
That would be so cool.
She is kind of like the Morrigan character.
Yeah, she kind of is. And like do her in full armor with,
Nice.
All the cosplay porns. But I mean, I think Rick should go for it. I think he should try doing a Geralt. It would be really cool to see.
Yeah. Okay, we have one more question that we got from Vixidas.
Yes, we do.
And that is, what are our favorite monsters in the book, TV show, or the games? I don't remember a lot of monsters. Like, if I had played The Witcher this year, I would probably have remembered a few monsters, but I can't remember any.
I mean, I just played it, and there are so many monsters that it's very easy to forget all of them.
Yeah, but what's your favorite, though?
Yeah, I know, right? It's really hard. I asked my husband the question, which would be his favorite monster. And his answer was so good. I'm kind of like, I almost want to steal it because he said Renfrey is his favorite monster.
Ooh. Yeah. It's a good one.
It's a good one. It's so good. No, but I really like the monster that's called the Leshen, which is kind of like this big scary woods monster with antlers and like reindeer skull and like branch arms or something. It's really freaky and scary, and I think it's really cool.
It's beautiful. Was what I was gonna say. I really loved the in the game for that monster. Oh my god, it's so cool. Don't you have a T-shirt with it on?
Yes, I do. I do have a Leshen T-shirt. I also like. It's so creepy, but like the Lubberkin, the baby that you need to like turn into a house spirit, like it is so freaky and ugly, but it's kind of cute at the same time. I feel so bad for it. Like you didn't get to live, and now you have to like guard a house for the rest of eternity. Like, poor kid. But no, definitely the Leshen is one of my favorite monsters.
Yeah.
Also, I would say that Yennefer is kind of a monster too, in a lot of ways.
Yeah, but she is chaos,
yes,
you know?
She is chaos embodied. Ryurai Art says, best monster is the dragon. Hello.
Obviously.
Obviously. I mean, dragons are always the best.
Yeah. You don't really get to see a lot of monsters in the series, though.
No, you get to
Not that
see
many.
the Kikimora in the beginning when he
Mm-hmm.
kills it, and
You get to see a lot of creatures, but not many monsters, I would say.
mm,
Like, you see the Striga,
yes, and
and
the
that is pretty
Doppler.
cool. And the Doppler. I actually really like the Doppler because I enjoyed the way it spoke.
Yes,
Um,
we.
yeah, I think that was a cool
That was
detail,
very
and I
cool.
think the fight between the Doppler and the bad guy was
Kahir.
really cool
Yeah.
when he fought himself. That was such a
Yes.
cool scene.
It
It
was
was
well
really well,
made.
yeah. And at the end of it, I was like, "Oh fuck, who is the Doppler?
Yeah,
Who
who
is?"
died? Like, or who got away? But yeah, but the Doppler also really cool monster,
Yes.
and usually not evil in general, but this one
Mhm.
was.
The Streaker fight too. Yes, the Streaker fight was
Yes.
also very cool. I agree.
And
And actually, a lot of the fights in this series is done so freaking well.
yeah,
A lot of it because of the slowness of the humans, and you can see like. Geralt's movements are so much faster and
yeah,
he's so awesome and things are done so cool and well and they have different solutions to things that
mm,
I really haven't seen a lot.
yeah,
So I really enjoyed that they didn't go for well-known techniques and fights that's already been done 100 times before
yeah,
in 100 other for
yeah.
this.
I totally
So
agree. All of the fight scenes were so well, like, choreographed, and I mean, Henry Cavill did all of his stunts himself.
wow.
Yeah, all of them. So, I mean, kudos to that guy for doing all of that. And just the whole Striga fight in general was just awesome from start to finish. And you got to see him use his like Witcher sign to seal off the door and seal off the coffin and break through the floor. And just it was so cool. I
It
was
was very cool.
transfixed to the screen when I saw it for the first time. Like, oh
Yeah.
my god, so awesome.
I also really enjoyed the fight with the djinn.
Yeah.
Not as much like just the fight with the djinn, but what happened after when Jaskier was outside being like, "Oh no, I just lost my friend, and I love Yennefer," and he watched through the window, and they were like, that was so funny.
They're alive. Oh, they're really alive.
Yeah, I really enjoyed like the
Yeah.
way that they made serious. It was like almost like watching a comedy at
Yeah,
sometimes,
it
and
was.
I just think that they had a lot of clever solutions to
Yeah.
different scenes,
Yeah.
and they brought things ways that I didn't really. That's not that classical. I don't know.
It's all into this whole like it's a show that is produced with a lot of love and a lot of excitement, and it also doesn't take itself too seriously that it can't crack a joke every once in a while.
That's true.
I mean, the woman who is the writer and the showrunner behind The Witcher is like a hardcore Witcher fan, like books
Well,
and stuff. So she's really into all of the lore and things. So a lot of people on the show are, or at least some at least, are very hyped about it and know a lot about The Witcher and the Witcher universe, and therefore have put a lot of effort and excitement into this project.
and maybe that's why it feels so what's the word? Damn it.
Genuine?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think so too. And I've read a lot of like negative reviews today from like the CNN and BBC and the Guardian and whatnot, with like people just taking themselves too seriously and TV too seriously, and oh, this is such a snooze fest, and I'm like, you guys have too much joy in your life, or too little. There's something wrong with you.
Yeah, you clearly don't understand. Like,
Mm-mm.
it's like when you have people who work with like reviewing stuff,
Yeah.
and when they have people who are not experts at this or this field reviewing a thing that they know nothing about, then
Yeah.
of course it doesn't get it doesn't get like fairly assessed or anything. Like,
Oh.
if anyone would put me out to review a romantic comedy or a romantic movie, of course I would give it like 1
Yeah,
because it
because you hate
sucks, because I
it.
hate that. Like a person who liked that kind of stuff would probably give it like top grades or something, but I wouldn't. You know, it's the difference there.
Yeah.
You should have people who knows what they're talking about,
Yeah.
or knows the tropes, or knows those kind of themes.
Yeah. And if you
Review
don't have that, still, if you are a fucking professional who is being paid to write and do a good job and research the thing you're writing about, then you know, have some actual professional pride and do your job. The worst,
Yeah.
I mean, like, if I was a paid writer and I had to write a review about, like, let's say a romantic comedy, not really my thing either necessarily, I would still do my job. I would still research it, and I would look at people who loved it and see what they said, and I would write what I thought and just mash it together, because that's what you actually do when you're a good writer. You don't just write your opinion and like, oh, I don't like this, so I'm not going to put in an effort. That's sloppy. And it just makes me angry when people do that, not just on behalf of The Witcher, but in general. Like, do your fucking job. You're being paid to do this for a living. Ugh. People who just don't have any professional pride really get to me, you know? It makes me so angry.
Yeah, no, but there's a difference when you are working as a journalist for a major paper or whatever. Then you are basically writing as a professional and not your own.
Yeah.
You're not writing for yourself.
Yeah.
On Facebook, you're allowed to have your own opinion. You can write it as stupidly as you want, but in a paper that you're you should do more research. Absolutely.
Like, several of the articles didn't write the names right. They they just said, oh, and there's also a game about The Witcher. I'm like, no, bitch, there are 3 games, plural. Like, it's like, there are just all of these details where, you know, they've just like heard some secondhand information. Oh, apparently there's a game too, but whatever. You know, there's no actual meat to the things that they write, or they're just doing like, oh, I'm just going to be snide and funny because the internet is a trash fire anyway and people want to be entertained, so I'm going to you know.
Rick Make Stuff says, also, talking about the fights, has anyone seen the video of the fight from episode 1 dubbed with Queen, Don't Stop Me Now? Now I'm going to see that after. Yes. I haven't seen it, but I am. I really enjoy Queen. That. Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
Good feels all around.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, the fight scenes were just amazing. The speaking of monsters, the only thing I didn't like monster-wise in the series is the mask that the Sylvan guy was wearing. You know, the horned goat devil guy that he was hunting. That was, it just did not look good.
It looked weird. It looked like a It looked like it was I don't know, like Halloween, Robin Hood series
Halloween store mask. It was not good.
It didn't look like a series with a lot of money behind it.
Yeah. Rick says, I'll post it in the Discord later. Yeah,
yes!
You do that.
Yeah,
awesome. Good. And for those of you who might be new to the channel who are watching, we have our own Discord where people can talk to each other and share cool stuff. So if you want to be a part of that, there's a button below here, and Tonya, who is the manager of our Discord, will give you access if you apply. Also, you know, subscribe to our channel. Both here and on Instagram and on Facebook at the CosCast. You'll find us. We're on YouTube too, but YouTube are weird.
Shots fired.
Shots fired. We're not bitter at all.
They're so dumb.
So dumb. All right. So yeah, those were the things that we had written up. Before we end it off, I just want to talk a little bit about the fact that one of the things I really enjoy about The Witcher is that there are several female characters that all have their own individual goals. They're all flawed and awful and horrible, and they're allowed to be flawed and awful and horrible in their own ways. They're selfish and they're focused on their own goals and conniving, but that it's part of who they are, and especially Yennefer. There are so many bad things about her. You shouldn't really like her. No one should really like her because she's awful, but you still do. And I don't know if it's because of or in spite of or what it is, but I really like Yennefer as a character. I do.
Well, I like her as a character, but like I don't like her. Like,
oh no, we would never be friends. Are you crazy? She would drive you mad. But Geralt loves her. He can deal with her bullshit. Maybe it's because he doesn't feel his feelings, very strongly. Like everyone else be like, God, Yennefer, you're driving me mad. And he's like, oh, well, there she goes again.
Maybe it's because she gives him something to worry about,
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think, because he says he doesn't want anything. But when he meets Yennefer, she just sparks something in him. And suddenly he has something to want. Something to desire and long for.
Yeah.
And Ciri is like destined to be together with them. So it's like a dysfunctional little family. I like it.
That's cute.
Yeah. Ryura says, I don't think you could sound cuter than that where you just promoted yourself.
Anyway, I am Team Triss, and I will be forever.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm Team Yennefer, and I have always been. And I probably always will be. But that's okay. See, we can be friends even though you prefer Triss and I prefer Yen. There's no problem.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, Triss would definitely be more of a girlfriend. Like, you can depend on Triss.
Yeah.
Like making plans with Yennefer, forget it. Like, no, sorry, I felt like taking a bath instead or something. Like,
yeah. I really wished I would get to see some of the iconic moments from the games.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Unicorn.
The unicorn.
I really hope that they bring that into Witcher series
That
later.
So funny. I mean, the bathing and the sex and the stuff is all a part of like
the
games and the Witcher universe, and like to leave it out, it would just kind of be weird if it wasn't there.
I know.
Oh, and I know a lot of people have complained about a lot of gratuitous nudity and sex in the show, but it's like I didn't really react a lot to it because I played the games. Although I did think the whole orgy thing was a little bit awkward.
No, but there was no one who actually did anything. There was explicit things you got to see. It was all like it looked like a bunch of dancers doing modern dancing really slowly. Yeah. That's what it looked like. So to me, it wasn't any nasty or anything like that.
Wasn't.
To be honest, I think Game of Thrones is 10 times worse than this. It's more explicit. You see more. It's more graphic. This was more tasteful and mysterious.
Yeah, I liked it too. I didn't really mind. And I think that people are really prudish about nudity on TV, but not against violence, which is really weird to me because to me, nudity is a lot more normal and appreciated than violence in general, like in real life.
It should be.
It should be. So why are people being so weird about it? Like, we see Geralt's chest all the time, so why over-sexualize boobs?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've lost count on how many times you saw Geralt without a shirt in the show and in game. So, what's the big deal?
I don't know.
No, I don't know either. And I mean, the whole orgy thing was also just kind of like a whole illustration of Yennefer wanting to be in power and have everything and just watch everyone dance on her strings. It was just a really good illustration of that.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah, people are prudes.
And Rira says, you can always look away.
Yeah.
Like I did, yeah.
And also the sex scenes, very tasteful when there was actual sex. They faded to black.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I don't remember.
Because Geralt has sex with Renfri in the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
And then he wakes up and he remembers like the prophecy that she told him about the girl in the woods and all of that. But you didn't get to see any of the sexy stuff. They were just kissing and then it faded to black.
That's true.
Yeah, so I didn't think that any of the sex in the show was, gratuitous or nasty or anything like that. Just that's the part of the world. That's how it is.
That's true. That's true.
All right, I think we've talked about almost everything we can talk about.
I'm inspired to watch the series again now.
Yeah. It's kind of want to like find the little details and like, oh yeah, we talked about that. That's so cool.
Yeah. And play the games, but it takes so much time. It's such a long game.
It is a very long game, but it is totally worth it though. It's very entertaining.
It is. It is.
All right. I'm all talked out now, I think.
Yeah, I really need to pee.
Yeah. Cool. So I'll just say this. Thank you guys for watching, for joining our Witcher fan cast. If you enjoyed this, make sure to follow us on Twitch and subscribe and, you know, all of that good stuff. And
we'll also do fan casts of other things. So if you have any suggestions you want us to talk about, like series or movies, it doesn't have to be new, it can be old too. Like we will do it as long as we like it or hate it. I don't know, it all depends on
pretty much anything. I mean, we had Game of Spoilers for the longest time and that was really fun. So any movie or show or book or anything that you would like us to talk about, let us know and we'll see if we can make it happen. Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching, Fandorkables. We love you. And the first episode of the CosCast show is going to be out on Sunday the 19th. So make sure you watch us then.
Yes, in 10 days.
Yes. Okay, bye.
Bye.